ask everyone to remain standing for the rendition of O Canada.
Remembrance Day Parade! Halt! Remembrance Day Parade 1, left, turn!
Remembrance Day Parade 2, right, turn!
Good morning, Bathurst High School. I'm Shaughnessy Reardon, your school president, and I'll be your Master of Ceremonies for this Remembrance Day. I thank you all for being here at the 2018 Remembrance Day ceremony. And I would ask Mr. Poirier to please come up and introduce our veterans. Everyone can sit down.
Good morning. Let's try that again. Good morning. Before I introduce the veterans, I would like to say a big thank you to Mrs. Heather Chamberlain, her committee, to the student body, and especially you, all the students of BHS, to welcome us in your building for today. I would like also to save your applause for until the last person is standing. Jerry Arsenault, Army, Air Force, Korean War. Arthur Jago, Legion member. Marvin Ramsey, Army. Ron Melvin, Air Force. Graham Wiseman, 1st Vice, Branch 18. Heather McGuire, Ladies Auxiliary President. Aline Jago, Ladies Auxiliary Member. Linda Young, Ladies Auxiliary Member. Master Corporal Boldick. Mr. Boldick had 3 tours. He belonged to the Royal Van Doos, 22nd Regiment. He had a tour in Afghanistan, Haiti, and Ukraine. Corporal Degg, member of the North Shore Regiment. And Corporal Bruno Arsenault, RCMP, retired, also with a tour of duty in Haiti. And also today it gives me a great pleasure to introduce to you 2 of our war brides, Mrs. Brittany Payne and Mrs. Anna Levine. I would like also to say a few words about what's going on this weekend in Bathurst. This year being the 100th anniversary of World War I, we will have what we call the Bells of Peace, which means that November 11 at 6 p.m. at night, all the churches around the city will ring their bells 100 times at a 5-second interval. Also, Juna Beach student from BHS will be along the causeway on the flag line where you've seen all the Canadian flags, 128 flags, and we'll do the same thing over there. And on behalf of Branch 18, I would like to invite everybody along the causeway, and if you have bells, bring your bells. Thank you.
I fired my first shot the second night just after midnight. I got the fellow I shot just in front of our wire. I won't forget the feeling as I pressed the trigger that night. I had got over it when I had broke.
Beginning of my first tour, you had a 20% chance of completing 30 trips, which was not too great a odds. The only enjoyable part is when you're not flying on operations. And I went to join the army, and the guy said, "You look a little young." And the chief turned around and said, "Yeah, but he's strong." And that was all was said, and I got into the army, nothing else.
When we were on the day shift, we would be writing letters to the next of kin, informing them of whatever had happened to their loved ones, whether they were killed in action or missing in action or prisoner of war or something.
But it tested us as troops, and we fulfilled our obligation to the best we could under horrendous conditions.
And I was saying, my goodness, everybody loses in war. Then I said, war is not to be glorified. War is hell.
I can still remember she put down, "Thank you for liberating our country," and then she put one sentence there, "Your blood, our freedom." And then I can still remember that sentence, "Your blood, our freedom." That's how they think of the Canadian.
At first I was like, there's no way that we're going to be able to get out here. Like, there's no way this is going to happen. And then you're here and it's like, it's a completely different experience. You read about it in a book is one thing, but when you go to the cemeteries and the monument and you really see the true extent of what happened, and you really get a real understanding for what happened here all those years ago. And it's an experience that you'll never have one like it. Like this is exciting.
Coming here, I can honestly say, like just seeing all the Canadian flags in the towns, it really makes me proud, and I have a feeling of pride now that I never had before that I'm Canadian, and I think I'm gonna carry that with me now for all my travels. Like I'm really gonna be way more patriotic because we are an amazing country, and I didn't really realize that, so it's opened my eyes a lot.
My father and his were here 100 years ago on April the 9th, the beginning of the attack. You got to be really forever thankful for the veterans for fighting for this, and keeping us in the state that we're at. So I sometimes feel guilty because I was in India in wartime, and you know, and to see what's happening there, and to see the sacrifice and hardships, like. It's from them that I got that, you know, and that makes you feel pretty humble.
My thoughts, of course, are with the men who died so that we could be free, but especially with my wife's great uncle who died here 100 years ago yesterday, and he is buried down in the cemetery. We're going to see the cemetery now. But my daughter is extremely keen on this. She's the one that got us on this trip. She organized the whole thing for us. She has his medal, his picture. So I'm taking back a pair of boots so that on Remembrance Day, when she sets everything out,
It's honestly, it's an amazing experience to be here. My mom's been here like I think 4 times now, and ever since she went on her first trip, I've always wanted to go and experience this. And now that I'm here, it's just surreal to be here where all the soldiers fought and many lost their lives. It's just amazing to think what they've done. And
it's been an amazing experience to be here for the 100th, and what an honor. The trip has gone extremely fast. It seems like we just got here and we're already planning to go home, but the reverence that the people of France have shown us, and the support and the number of Canadians that have come over for this event is just staggering. It was so emotional yesterday.
One thing that hit me very hard was when at the end of the ceremony, everyone sang the Canadian anthem, and just being in a different country and hearing this large group of people sing the anthem just made me feel so proud to be from Canada.
There's one story that's going to stay with me forever, and that's we were at the Ring of Remembrance. We stopped with a 97-year-old World War II vet who landed on D-Day, and we're talking with him. And one of my friends asked him, why would you join up? And a lot of veterans give the same kind of answer. A lot of them don't like to talk about things because it brings up bad memories. So he just gave the regular answer, oh, I served my country and I felt obligated, the thing to do. And then he was physically upset. You could see something was moved in him when she had asked him that. And then a couple minutes later, he gave her a different answer. As the conversation moved, he came back to it and said, I'm originally from Yugoslavia and I immigrated to Canada. And when I was living in BC, I felt like it was my duty to call myself, if I wanted to call myself Canadian, to put on the uniform and earn it. And that touched the four of us that were standing there. And then he started to cry, and it was something I've never seen and something I might not see again. And it was emotionally touching for sure.
I will now ask Ora Mahoney and Curtis Vandenbrand to say a few words.
I'll be reading A Soldier's Bane, which is a poem that I wrote for the Legion's Remembrance Day contest. A young soldier stands with leather-gloved hands, a heart of pure joy and life, unafraid of what is yet to come, unaware of his future strife. A fatigued soldier stands with mud-caked hands, bested by trenches below. Both his body and mind are weary with loss and the fact he may never make it home. A grieving soldier stands with blood-stained hands above a fallen friend, his spirit cracked like glass among his comrades' unjust end. A brave soldier stands with shaking hands, finally returning home, embracing his family and his friends, but still he feels alone. A veteran stands with scar-ridden hands, his smile forced with pain. His mind is punctured with bullets of war, his scars a soldier's bane. Thank you.
I will be reading Thankful, a writing I completed for the Legion's Remembrance Day writing contest. Thankful. Remembrance Day is widely known across the globe as a symbol for the strife and agony of years past, and a day to take a moment and remember the lives of our fallen soldiers. On this day, at 11:11 every morning, the population of the world falls silent to remember the men and women who have so selflessly given their lives for our home and native land. However, during that moment in which the world falls silent, we too have to remember to be thankful for the men and women who have defended our country in the past, present, and will continue to in the future, and thankful for the safe return and security of those who have returned to us in the past. For the men and women who give their lives for this country we live in, I am thankful. For this landmass we call our home and native land, our sprawling vast wonderland of snow, polar bears, and freedom, I am thankful. I give thanks for the mornings I can wake up in and truly feel a sense of security and not have to worry what form our government will take come dawn the next day, or what may become of our nation's youth in the years to come. I'm grateful for all that these men and the women do for us, our country and homeland, their servitude and pure love unmatched, their lives at stake for our freedom. I am thankful that the red on our flag is symbolic of our relationship with England and the maple leaves our country is surrounded in, and not the blood of the countrymen who died needlessly for us. Our flag symbolizes freedom and equality for all, and the values we as Canadians hold near and dear to our heart. I will forever give my thanks to the people we commemorate for the glorious flourishment of the country I get to call my home. A grand utopia of new ideas to be had, innovation, security, and political freedom. I love this country and its people, and the people who protect and serve it for us. I'm grateful for the blessings of our elders returning home from past tragedies and bestowing their stories to us. Maya Angelou, legendary poet and author, once stated that there is no greater agony than bearing an untold story inside of you. For that, I am forever indebted to the veterans for sharing their travesty with us, for helping us understand and truly be thankful for the gift of knowledge and the want to better understand what it was like for them. For the sacrifices of Vimy Ridge, D-Day, Korea, and the peacekeeping efforts, but more importantly for the women and men serving to help keep our country and our people safe, I am forever thankful. You are the people who give us our freedom our country too often takes for granted, and you valiant men and women are our most loyal citizens, the ones who would literally give life and limb to preserve the love in which our country so prospers. For those who have sacrificed, for the lives we have today, for all that you women and men do to keep our country prospering and plentiful, and all that I have in the past, we remember, but we also give thanks. Thank you.
Thank you, Aaron Curtis. I will now ask the BHS Rock Band to play Highway of Heroes. I will now ask Napoleon Como to play Last Post. I will now recite the Act of Remembrance. They shall grow not old, as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun and in the morning, we will remember them. We will remember them. I will now ask Sebastian Denimore to recite In Flanders Fields.
Could everybody sit down, please? In Flanders fields the poppies blow, between the crosses, row on row, that mark our place. And in the sky, the larks still bravely singing fly. Scars heard amid the guns below. We are the dead. Short days ago we lived, felt dawn, saw sunset glow. Loved and were loved, and now we lie in Flanders field. Take up a quarrel with the foe. To you from failing hands we throw the torch. Be yours to hold it high. If ye break faith with us who die, we shall not sleep, though poppies grow in Flanders fields.
We now have some BHS students singing God Save the Queen. After this rendition, I would ask all students to remain in the auditorium and wait for my dismissal as the veterans are leaving. Thank you.
That concludes our Remembrance Day ceremony. Students and staff, could you stay standing while our veterans exit the auditorium? Thank you.